Hello students, Dr. Poonam here with a new video on Voices in the City. It is a novel by Anita Desai. In my previous video, I have discussed Anita Desai in detail. I have told you all about about the career of Anita Desai, the books she has written, and all the achievements of Anita Desai. This is my second video on the novel Voices in the City. Now, I will tell you today in this video about the story of the novel. As you know that Anita Desai, this is the second novel of Anita Desai. It is considered one of the author's lesser work, though it deals with many of the same themes that appear in later novels that won her international recognition and several prestigious awards in India and abroad. This novel is based on the life of the middle class intellectuals of Calcutta. This novel was first published in 1965, and Voices in the City tells the story of three siblings as they struggle to find meaning while living in the Indian capital of Calcutta. The book is based on the time Desai spent in Calcutta in the early 1960s and is a chronicle of the social changes in a modernizing India, exploring what happens, what traditional Indian ways of life come into conflict with new ideas and the effect this has on young people. This novel is based on the life of the middle class intellectuals of Calcutta. It is an unforgettable story of a Bohemian brother and his two sisters caught in the cross currents of changing social values. In many ways, the story reflects a vivid picture of India's social transition, a phase in which the older elements are not altogether dead and the emergent ones not fully evolved. Description of Calcutta occur frequently throughout the text. The city is presented as a force that helps shape the three characters at the center of the narrative. Desai does not shy away from presenting the negative side of living in Calcutta. She emphasizes the crowds, noisiness, frenzied pace, and lack of places to think and reflect. The city is also presented as a place where young people are unable to find happiness in their lives or jobs due to constant pressure. The novel describes the bitter effects of the urban living upon an Indian family. The three siblings in Voices in the City are Monisha, Nirod, and Amla. Monisha, the oldest, is neurotic, sensitive, and prone to overthinking situations. She has married into a very traditional family where she outwardly plays the role of a dutiful and devoted wife. However, internally, she is in deep turmoil due to the ugliness of her surroundings. She is unable to bear a child. One of her primary duties as a wife, which she interprets as an unwillingness to bring another life into a world that seems to her ugly and meaningless. So, brought up in luxury and magnificence by an overindulgent mother, Nirod settles down in Calcutta and becomes engrossed in its bohemian life, while his sister, elder sister Monisha, lives out a servile existence within the rigid and stiff continuous confines of a traditional Hindu family. She is confined to a traditional Hindu family. And at the end of the novel, Monisha commits suicide by burning herself alive in the bathroom. Though her siblings at first do not understand her seemingly out of character action, they soon find a diary that details her inner thoughts. Monisha's younger brother Nirod also has trouble adjusting to life in Calcutta. At the beginning of the novel, he has a good job at a newspaper which he soon quits because he cannot find meaning or a mode for self expression in the work, though his mother, a wealthy widow who lives in the countryside, offers to help him find a new job. Nirod rejects her aid, preferring to fall on his own. Nirod attempts several business ventures, including starting a magazine of his own and writing a play. However, all his attempts fail as his magazine folds and his play is rejected by theatre groups. He begins to equate the city of Calcutta with the goddess Kali, a deity of destruction that kills creativity and self expression. Nirod attempts to model his existence after a painter named Dharma, who seems to be at peace with his life in Calcutta. Though Dharma is a mysterious figure and Nirod is ultimately not able to understand his motivations. A visit from his mother finally resolves his conflict when Nirod has a dream of his mother as Kali and recalls that the goddess with destructive powers also has the power to preserve what is important. Next next is Amla. Amla sees the city as a monster. Nirod sacrifices everything for his career, and Monisha cannot bear her stifling existence in the household of a wealthy old Calcutta family. Amla, who is the youngest daughter, struggles with many of the same issues as her siblings but is still relatively naive and hopeful at the beginning of the novel. She also encounters Dharma and he has a greater effect on her. Dharma, considering Amla the ideal model for his paintings, draws her into his circle of literate, cosmopolitan friends. At first, Amla is excited, but she soon grows tired of the cynical artists as well as disillusioned when she finds out that Dharma is a philanderer who treats his daughter poorly. So, this creation of Anita Desai is set in the backdrop of contemporary Calcutta. The central character, Nirod, is a journalist here. So, the readers see the place with his eyes, and different corners of the city has come up with a journalistic point of view. However, the experience also gives her a new perspective. As we are discussing Amla, she experiences many things in Calcutta, and this experience gives her a new perspective on her life, allowing her to come to terms with her dull job and boredom living in Calcutta. The death of her sister serves as a secondary shock that further motivates her to make changes in her attitude, though her boring job as an advertising agency does not satisfy her. She finds something that does, making illustrations for a translation of the Panchatantra. This piece of ancient Indian political philosophy appeals to her because she finds its message meaningful and its way of being conveyed through fables about animals to be interesting and creative. Now, about the story, symbolism is being portrayed artistically in this story. Several important incidents have been described through symbolism. People dissatisfied with their lives in modern society are common in Anita Desai's fiction. Though some of the novels that followed, Voices in the City, take place in London, Mexico City, and other locations around the world. Many deal with characters who feel out of place, bored, or existentially troubled. As a writer, Desai explores the ways people try to find meaning in their lives. Sometimes her characters succeed, as Amla does, and sometimes they fail, like Monisha. So, here in this story, Voices in the City, we see that symbolism is being portrayed artistically at so many places, and several important incidents have been described through symbolism. Thank you very much.